people sit down and
Fabricate.
concoct all kinds of stories. So, and nobody is insulated from the nonsense that people put on social media. If you want to fully retain your sanity, limit the number of times you go to social media. Because social media in our country is bursting at the seams with mad people. All kinds of people with no training at all.
True.
People whose conduct will make you stay thoroughly convinced that they are not human beings. So people will lie against you, but when you want to hold them to account, they run away. They think that social media is a place where even people that they are not good enough to lace their boots, they should abuse them. You know, I talked yesterday about one who said I'm the most useless journalist in Nigeria because I said something that the law says in our country. And I'm saying, well, you can say that. It's your father that you are referring to, not me. I'm convinced about that. That if you said that about me, you are your progenitors that you are referring to, not me. So that is it. These people, Jonathan will be wondering, who is the madman that wrote this kind of thing? So the way they are thinking now, Peter Obi, if Jonathan does not contest, will sweep the South-South.
Okay.
And they believe that Jonathan coming in will make it impossible for him to make a clean sweep of the South-South. So who told them that Jonathan will contest? I've said repeatedly here that Jonathan will not contest in this election. And if you contest, use your index finger to press my nose. He will not contest. He didn't tell anybody to buy him a form. They bought him a form the other day. It was a waste of time.
But he's not talking.
Jonathan, it doesn't matter. Why should he talk?
The silence.
So what is their business? Did he tell them to talk on his behalf? So if you are talking on my behalf, you are not mandated to speak for me, and you chose to run your mouth. No, fine. Go ahead and do it. That's what Jonathan is doing. He's happy in his role as a father of the nation, at this time, one of the fathers of our nation. So he's not interested in contesting. Now, coming to think that he would take 500 billion. Do they even know what a billion is? 500 billion. Can't even look at the kind of money they are talking about for one person. He will take it so that he can ruin Peter Obi's chances of clearing the South-South. How did they come to the conclusion that the South-South is going to even clear the South-South?
Okay, that's another.
What survey was their conclusion based on? You know, we talk now, they will say, oh, Jide has come again, this and that. But these people, I don't understand. They write, these days you don't know what to believe. You don't know what to believe. And they damage innocent people. The president said the other day that we need responsible journalism. But it's not even the mainstream media doing this. Everybody who has a phone now sees himself as a journalist. And he thinks it's better than those of us who have committed our life to it, who have taken risk in our life, risks that they will not even dare take. So, how can you say, now they're saying they fail to provide the basic details expected of a credible story, including when and where the alleged statement was made, the identities of those who supposedly made the offer, or any witnesses to support the claim. Jonathan, clearly, this had all the hallmarks of fake news, deliberately crafted to mislead the public.
No, the third of news and H.
Jonathan to ridicule. Jonathan is not contesting. I'm not his spokesman, but I know he will not contest. I'm not his spokesman. I know he will not contest. Time is a gentleman, as I always say, so let us see whether he will contest. Let us see. Yeah, we are here.
On two levels. One is a very good initiative of INEC to extend it. I'm looking forward to the day when we will be continuous registration will be ending like a week to the election. That will be the ideal, that people can continue to register until maybe a week or two to the election. I believe with technology and all that is available today, we should be able to do that. But beyond that is also the signal that voter registration is a civic good. And Nigerians are going to learn the fact that one of the rites of passage in a democracy is the fact that people register to vote. Nigeria's story is a very sad story now if you look at our voter turnout and compare it with comparable democracies, whether it's India, whether it is Brazil, whether it's Mexico, South Africa. Nigeria is at an abysmal low level. And what is even interesting is that people have gone to do surveys and asked people, will you vote in an election? So I have tracked that question across NOI polls. Yaga has done their own. Even we at Athena Center with NOI did a polling that says almost 80-something% of Nigerians always say they will go and vote. And the reality is that less than 30% eventually turn up. So which is what I call the friction, the cost of voting. So INEC making people register is one aspect. Now, removing the friction to voting is the second aspect. And that's why we in Go Nigeria are looking at it beyond just registration, beyond removing the friction to voting. And I call it the cost of voting. So I would like to vote, but I registered 3-4 kilometers away from my house, or 6. On election day, there is no movement. There's no traffic.
So how do
I get there?
Yeah.
Then on the other part is there is stories of there's violence or there is police, everywhere is militarized on election day. In India, they keep moving the voting machine closer and closer to people. Election takes over how many months in India because of the large population. But they keep bringing it. So they remove the friction. Just coming out of your house and walking to the next station and voting and going on to work.
That's the way it is
That's
in
the
the
way
UK.
it is in the UK, in the US.
Your
it does.
polling booth is always local to you.
And it is, there's no stopping movement.
Yeah.
There is no, people just keep doing their life.
Yeah.
So we need to remove the friction to voting because Nigerians truly intend to vote. But the cost of voting is
people should go and pick up their voter card. They should go and register to vote. Yet we miss the point in how do we get these people to the vote? Is INEC, is the NOA, is the media, the civil society? Are we failing to tell the people the essence of having the voter card? Because now they go to the bank with the voter card as identity card. Many people use it as identity card and not for just the purpose, the primary purpose.
I think it's a bit sad because of the poor quality leadership that we have been witnessing. People are somewhat disillusioned. People are somewhat almost giving up, especially when you try as much as possible, sleep at the polling unit and to protect your votes. And at the end of the day, it doesn't appear as if that vote really counted. People want to, lose interest, but then they shouldn't, because there is just no other way to effect the change that you want, the positive change that you want.
People don't trust INEC. INEC's lost credibility in the eye of the people. There was a strong pushback. They said, you're bringing it too early to an election. But that doesn't remove the fact that there is a need for us to do surgical operation on our voters' card, the base. There's so much that is wrong with it, so many PVCs missing and all that. So at the appropriate time, and I strongly advise immediately after this election, there are so many ways we can do it. Match it with NIN, use AVs and all that. We can clean it up.
Has come up to say, as a serious measure to say, what happened in 2023, how do we make sure that it doesn't happen again in any part of Nigeria?
You ask how many people were arrested, those that perpetrated those narrative and action. How many of them were arrested, prosecuted? In some instances, the police dismissed it as jokes, that people were cracking jokes. That was, for me, was the height of insensitivity.